Welcome everyone to Admiral Markets. My name is Chris. We're going to take a look at the strategy webinar of today. Before we do that though, be aware that this webinar is intended for a global audience and may not be suitable for everyone. Take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence and contact an appropriate entity to find out more about that and other conditions and details. Also, trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is not advice and is for informational and educational purposes only. And by continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and recording later on. At the moment, this is live, but we're recording it as well. And let's see. You're aware of the risk. You're also aware of the risk involved when continuing with this webinar, and that those are yours to take. And by continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer. I think I said that, but okay. Good. Let me see. Let me get up the chat. Alrighty. So take a look at admiralmarkets.com. We've got a lot of things going on: analytics, education, more information about Supreme Edition. So there's a lot of good things there, and you can find, for instance, let's take a look. You can find, for instance, wave, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, a calendar, market sentiment, market heat map. We can do that actually right now. Let's take a look. There it is. Let's see, market movers, some of the stocks, as you can see, Apple, IBM, Microsoft in green, the ruble in red here, New Zealand CAD in red. How about the Forex market? New Zealand, the big mover. Let's take a look at that. Wow, really above 1%. And we have some on the downside too, Kiwi below minus 1%, New Zealand CAD, New Zealand yen, New Zealand Swiss, a lot of New Zealand weakness apparently. So let's take a look what's going on with the New Zealand. Big downside movement there. Also on the New Zealand, actually, Euro New Zealand, Pound New Zealand. New Zealand was the big mover apparently. Looking at this heat map, we can see that pretty quickly. Pound out and Euro out also moved a decent volatility and downside as well. So that Euro out, of course, was something that I was looking at yesterday as well and made some good movement, and some good pips were available there. So we'll take a look at that pair right now. Well, actually, first let's take a look at the calendar. Today, some green and news, but of course on the dollar we have green and yellow news. Sorry, on the dollar we have ADP news. That's a big one. ISM, non-manufacturing PMI. Tomorrow we have big pound news. Friday we have big NFP figure. That's going to be very interesting, obviously, because we know that the FOMC, the Fed, is keeping an eye on the dollar development and the U.S. development and the U.S. figures in the next couple of weeks to make a decision on that interest rate, perhaps in December. So that's very interesting. Alrighty, let's take a look. I wanted to focus on price action today, so you're going to see a blank chart finally for a change, contrary to the chart that I normally have, which can become a bit crowded with moving averages. If we add some fibs, if we talk about waves and add some trend lines, it might seem a bit busy, especially if you, of course, are not the one behind the charts. It could quickly add up. If you're the ones doing the charts, it's easier to comprehend because you're the ones putting it on. It's always a bit more difficult if you're looking at something. So today is going to be blank charts. I want to take a look at all these pairs. First of all, I want to take a look at the euro because the euro has been doing exactly what we wanted. It broke. It went up to basically to the resistance here, to the 38.2 fib, and to the previous wave 4, and indeed turned around as expected at this fib, as you can see. Made a small little triangle here, and then started to break that triangle. So talked about that trade. I mean, if someone was very early, it could have been at the 38.2 fib. I was talking about this candle, the breakout candle. On the 4-hour chart, I thought the hourly was still on the early side. Both actually worked out fine. and this short is well on its way, nicely doing, and going very well. The entry was here, good 4-hour candle. Let's take a look at that price action candle here. You can see good bearish candle. As I said, I want to look about a 50 pip candle at least, and it was actually 53. So, well, that met what I wanted to see. Push price indeed down to about that 109.70, 80 zone, what I was looking for. Exactly following my words, in fact, and in a way, and the close was near the low. So that was a good candle. So a short right there would have been entry at 109.85. Stop loss above it would have been about 109, 110.35, about 50 pips. And the trade is up 50 pips at the moment. And personally, got it at break even now. There's no, I don't think, any reason not to have it at break even. I think this is going our way. If it hooks back more, then I don't want to be in that trade. Perhaps there could be still something like this, a bigger correction, but I don't want to hang in with my short at 109, 85 to see it reverse against me that much. Obviously, my stop loss will be taken out as well because my stop loss is only above this one fractal. So I have it at break even, and I think that in fact these highs can be trailed. So maybe depending on how this 4-hour candle closes, I might even move the stop loss to above these tops in here. Well, it doesn't make that much difference, but I'll use these candle highs. Maybe not every candle high, maybe not the newest immediately, but I will trail stop this move and try to catch as much of price action as it falls down to 108, 107.50. And if it does that, it would be great. If it doesn't, then I don't lose on that trade. So that's the good thing. The upside is has a lot of potential still, but the downside, the risk is off the table and locking in slowly but surely more profit. That's great. So that was yesterday's euro dollar setup. Euro odd was actually also a good one. We could take a look at the euro dollar one more time from an hourly perspective. And this candle actually did do pretty well, as you can see. Got the follow through, light correction, and now hopefully continuing. Let's see. Euro odd was the same, was looking for a hook back to the 38.2 fib or a break of this bottom, and it didn't hook back, but as I said, it probably hook back, break, and go to the target, then bounce at the target, go back to the bottom, and then go to the 61.8 fib. So it also followed that formula, and there was some good trades in that zone to the minus 61.8 target. So the euro odd making a nice 100 pip fall there. So those were two good setups on the euro to the downside. And you can see how nice it is, how these fib levels really work so well, right? You can see nice harmony in those movements. Caitlin got 40 pips. Great job. Excellent. Nice work. Good 40 pips. I'm hoping for a bit more, to be honest. I hope that, well, hoping maybe is not a good thing to do, but I'm calculating maybe is a better word. Hope sounds not so good as a strategy, but the target is here at 10. The next support level is 108. So I am aiming for just above it, like 108.30, and using a trill. Let's see. All right, that was yesterday. Let's talk about today. Well, at this moment, I'm not that interested in trading the euro because I'm already in the euro. So, and we're pretty close to this bottom. So I personally don't see that much interesting element for or setup for today, perhaps, as we get closer to this bottom. But if this bottom at 109 breaks, there could be some breakout to 108.30. There could be some continuation of this downtrend, obviously, on a lower time frame. Yesterday's candle was bearish. This is still a follow through of this downtrend. So there's certainly that possibility for a follow through. We've got bearish price action. It's just that support levels are pretty close by, so I don't think it's worth trading right now. It was worth trading yesterday and maybe the day before yesterday as it hit this resistance level, but not now. All right. So even if you look at price action as your primary method of trading, I think still it's good to look at support and resistance and find the levels that are good to use or good to be careful of. And well, pound USD, let's move over. Take a look at this pound USD. We're in a kind of flat zone. On this daily chart, you can see pretty choppy price movement, a lot of ups and downs, and it's pretty much not trending at the moment. We do have impulse up and down, but no clear trend, more of a triangle formation at the moment. And we got clear resistance here. We have a bit of a support level coming in as well at the moment. And recently we had actually some bullish price action moving up to that resistance. All right, so what do we have now? We got, yesterday we had engulfing twin here, and that was indeed a potential short that I was thinking about, but I like the euro a bit more, but it did move down. We got a follow through to almost the minus 61.8 target, as you can see, and the engulfing twin indeed leading to the downside. Let's see, now we had a close and reverse in a way with this engulfing twin at the end of yesterday, and now we're seeing basically both an impulse down and up, here also down and up. So I have two lines on the chart basically indicating a turnaround spot here and a turnaround spot here. Those are the candle highs and lows of the turn, or actually the turning candle. So this is the candle that where we have the turn back down. This is the candle where we had the turn back up. So I'm using the candle low and the high. In this case, the candle high and here the candle low, and those should be support and resistance zones. So I'm keeping an eye on those levels. I think those could be good spots for potential shorts from here or from here. So I'm keeping an eye on those levels. This level, of course, we talked about yesterday too, is the level that actually indicated maybe the potential head and shoulders. Well, at the moment, the right shoulder is becoming way further than the left shoulder, but it's still possible that it's a resistance spot, and this could also be a bouncing spot again for some kind of triangle continuation like this. So both spots could be support or resistance, I think. Let's take a look at daily chart. Yesterday was a bullish bar. 2 days ago was a bearish candle. So here too, it's a bit of a mixture, in fact. And the pound dollar has been a bit of a tricky kind of yucky kind of pattern. And many probably would just skip this pair at the moment. Yeah, it's still close to resistance. So unless it breaks that resistance zone, I think it's still more of a short area that has space down to the trend line. But it's overall a bit of a choppy zone. And I was also talking about the fact that this could be perhaps more of a bull flag chart pattern, right? That was yesterday. Monthly candles bullish, weekly candles bullish. So we got some significant price action that justifies, a potential upside break. But until we break, it's still something that's not easy to break. Right? We do have bullish price action, but it doesn't mean that a resistance zone like that will certainly happen or will be an easy fight. It's a pretty heavy resistance zone right there. So from that point of view, I think it still makes sense to trade off that resistance zone to the downside. Let's see, 3-line strike pattern. Yes, this bullish one here indeed. And that is a good impulse indeed. So from that point of view, it would make sense to see something like this, but it could also make a dip down and then up like that, and then down like that, and stay in those lanes. I think both could be good support or resistance levels, in fact. Are you looking for something particular, Caitlin? Are you looking for a specific trade setup at the moment? And those 3-line strike pattern on the 1-hour chart is actually almost engulfing twins. Yeah, it is engulfing twins on the 4-hour with a very small margin, but this 4-hour candle here. So let's move over to a new pair. I think it's not that interesting of a pair, and I'll just keep an eye on these two levels. And if of course price does break this resistance, well, then it could be a pretty big daily breakout, one that I'm not trading immediately, but it's good to know about. Dollar yen getting into this resistance zone right here. Making kind of an ascending wedge. Bottoms are, going up a bit there, and kind of have a bullish angle, bullish price action here, looking at the candles. I don't know. I still think it's a pretty hefty resistance zone, so I'm still more bearish. Of course, if it breaks the resistance, then perhaps there could be a small mini breakout to the next resistance level. But at the moment, which probably is the minus 272 target, but at the moment we haven't done that yet, 123. So it looks more like a resistance zone, and price is right at it. And if it makes a bit of a move up here, could get a small head and shoulders, for instance. We do have at least a 4-hour candle that's bearish closed already. So if we retrace a bit of that candle, I would say it could be weakness. So maybe that's an idea to keep an eye on. I'm not sure if it's the best idea, but I'll keep it in mind. Let's take a look at some other pairs. Audio is has that bullish formation. I talked about this channel already yesterday, and the fact that it's looking like a bear flag, but it's of course on the lower time frame a channel up. This is a weekly bear flag, but looking at this bullish candle, for instance, a pretty strong candle, master candle, I think then it calls it, right? Low hasn't been broken yet. All these candles are above it still, so it could easily be a retracement for more upside. Last week's high would be nice to break, and price is actually still at resistance. Didn't really push through it that much. So it would be good. Actually, I was looking already for it on Monday. Would be good if it from here can make that pullback to the trend line, to support, go back to, for instance, the high of this candle in the middle, the turning candle here, for instance. Let me take away this level. That was last week's low. A hook back here, I think, would be a great support level. Another option is a break, pull back, and go as well. That would be an alternative. And you can see a bit of hesitation at this moment. You got a bearish candle here, a doji here. Breaking that level could become a bit difficult. I mean, it's possible, but you can see that price is having a bit of hesitation with that. Let's see, monthly candle. Rising 3 methods pattern. Let's see, rising. I'm thinking for the moment, but doesn't ring a bell somehow. Rising 3 methods. Are you sure it's the monthly? Maybe it's the weekly. This one, right? You mean? Got it. Yeah. Exactly. So that confirms indeed the bullish kind of environment that we could have on the USD. And from that point of view, 75 target, I think, is definitely something reasonable to think about. As we were saying yesterday, actually, kind of this candlestick formation kind of confirming the channel idea as well from that point of view. Yep, good point. So let's see how price reacts to this trend line. I'd like to see a hook back down to the 71.20. If it doesn't, I still see quite a lot of resistance here. So I personally would rather either from here or from here wait for a pullback. But if it does, then that looks interesting. All right, Kiwi was waiting for that retracement to challenge this bottom again, and it's doing that. There was some Kiwi weakness as we saw on the market heat map. So this could be again a bouncing spot. It fell a bit further or maybe a bit more impulsively than I expected, but did expect a retracement or the break of this flag and triangle, and it actually broke to the downside. So we're looking at this kind of trend line. So it could be a bouncing spot. Off of that support level. So let's see. Caitlin is talking about Morningstar pattern here, this doji, indicating already some indecision for our candle here. Also, the one before that has a bit of a wick at the bottom. And those are pretty near the support level. You can see that this bullish candle, if you took that as a signal, would not have ended up that well unless you put the stop loss below the brown line in the bottom. So, but I think that price has fallen enough for upside to happen. Extended Morningstar, got it. So this doji, I think, is what Caitlin means. So would be nice to see a bullish candle. As Caitlin says, a nice bullish candle close. I agree. I think that could be a good signal that we're getting a turnaround. It already probably looks, likely considering the fact that price is so close to that support level. And on an hourly chart, we'll be breaking through a 1 hour fractal here. We're doing it as we speak. So it looks very, very near a potential long as planned actually in a way yesterday already. And we're also challenging last week's low, which hasn't been broken yet, which could be a great spot for a stop loss as well. Good level to hide a stop loss. Not an easy level to break. So those are the good ones. So I think a 4 hour bullish close that is near the high merits a long stop loss. Could be either below, I mean, a tight stop loss would be below the candle low, but that could be, yeah, or below this fractal or below the bottom. Now the bottom is the widest, but it's still only probably going to be about 50 pips, 60 pips, which is still not bad considering that we're using a weekly low. The candle itself could be even tighter and could be 30 pips. So let's see. I think that all three are an option, or both are an option. Uh, If it's a decent bullish candle that closes above these highs, I probably think that going below the candle low should be okay. All right, dollar CAD had a bearish candle yesterday. Starting to look more like a hook back from monthly candle was bearish, weekly candle was bearish. Let's see, we had the start of the turning candle here. All right, and let's see. This top, we have not retraced this candle as yet, as you can see. So price could retrace back into that zone. Go down to one of these two targets. Now, yesterday I was not too big of a fan of this dollar CAD, but at this moment I think there's a pretty good chance we can get back into this zone, and unless we break this trend line. I also was keeping an eye on this trend line, which slightly broke, but it's emphasis on slightly. So I think the best probably could be a pullback. If it goes back to, for instance, this resistance spot, which is the turning candle of this downside impulse here, I think it could be a short potential. It's also a resistance trend line. And on the hourly chart has been making lower lows and lower highs. So if it pulls back to, for instance, this what is this level? 131.25. All right. If it breaks these two resistance lines, then something else is going on. It could be a bullish breakout indeed on the daily chart. Let's see. I made 50. Oh, Caitlin is saying that extended is made out of more than 3 candles. So extended morning star is more than 3 candles. I made 50 plus pips on the dollar CAD. Let's see, closed it yesterday, open on Friday. 50 plus pips open Friday. That was 30th October. So probably shorted it somewhere in here, Caitlin. And you closed it somewhere like here, right? You had a long, you had a long Friday? It was also down here on Friday. I see it. So you went long at this level. Got it. And then you closed it for 50 when it spiked up here. Got it. Like that. Right? I think, yeah. Nice job in any case. Great job. Okay. No problem. Yep. So let's see. It's showing bearish candles at the moment, as we can see. So I think if it retraces yesterday's bearish daily candle, you can see where my brown line is there. That's where I'm thinking about entering to the downside. It's just a continuation of these bearish candles on the daily chart. But if it breaks above yesterday's high, if it breaks above this trend line, then obviously this downside is just a retracement, and we'll probably get this. At the moment, we don't know how far this can ride down, so it makes sense to trade. I think as a continuation of that momentum. With a target, probably at the moment, I would say this turnaround candle right in here. Okay, you guys got momentum like this, but then we also have pretty good momentum to the upside again. So this is still a support level, so I would say that's the target. Could bounce there again, and who knows, it could stay in a triangle forever, for however long it wants to. Alrighty, that's the dollar CAD. Let's take a look at some others. Maybe, how about the pound odd? Bullish weekly candle. A big wick at the bottom of the monthly candle. Retracement of last week's candle and a potential retracement within this channel. But we do have bearish daily candles. But if a doji here close to this bottom, on the 4-hour chart, let's take a look at the hourly. Losing its momentum at the moment, just a bit of a slight downside, probably divergence between these bottoms. And looking more like a bullish bounce spot than anything at the moment, right? We're at the bottom of this channel, 4-hour chart is showing indecision, I think, which is more of a reversal sign of the divergence between the 1-hour bottoms. So let's see, what could be a good entry? Maybe, I think one more bullish candle could be good. We got still lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour chart. So let's see, how does the 50-minute world look like? could be maybe even worth a long right now with a stop loss just below that candle. 4-hour low. Stop loss maybe, let's see, could be this low. Bit risky because it could maybe just move a tad lower to hit this trend line and still move up. So that's the disadvantage, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours at the moment. Maybe a breakout could be the other option, a breakout of this 1-hour fractal, which would make it a bit easier to put the stop loss below this bottom. All right, so if I use my counting the candle rule, 5 to 6 candles not breaking this bottom should mean that we're going to make or there's a chance of a correction, a higher chance of a correction to the upside. So that would mean this hour and the next hour, and then that particular green circle bottom is stronger for stop loss placement. So either an hour, 40 minutes from now, or the break of that resistance fractal where I have the brown line could be, I think, moments where a long entry makes sense with the stop loss below the green bottom or the bottom of the green circle. This one had good trades yesterday. Let's see if there are new trades today. Continuing with this downtrend, continue with these bearish candles, and trying to poke through this support level. Overall, a big bearish momentum. There was a pin bar actually at this support level, so some of you might think that could be a signal to the upside, and wouldn't be that strange to think that. I think it's a support level, and certainly a good reason to get out of shorts and take the profit there. And actually, that's what we were looking for yesterday. We're looking for minus 61.8 target. So that was good. Whether it's worth closing or reversing to the upside, I'm not too sure. I mean, yes, there is that pin bar on the 4-hour chart at support level, but so from that point of view, it could make sense. It's maybe worth the risk. But considering the trend here, the trend channel, we do have a history already of lower lows and lower highs. So from that point of view, there's a good chance we can break through this bottom, I would say. Maybe not so enthusiastic about trading it this euro odd to the upside. So I would rather not personally trade that. Now to the downside, I'm not either too enthusiastic because we're right at the bottom. So it seems like it's a bit of a no trading zone, maybe is the better word, on the euro odd. Let's skip this one then and take a look at pound yen and euro yen. Yesterday, I was talking about this choppiness that, once it is choppy, it tends to stay choppy and it could take a long time before price really breaks out. There was the first break, then we had another break actually just now. Maybe now it can finally see some acceleration. So let's see. But indeed, very choppy kind of price action. Small candles on the daily chart. So far, bearish momentum is dominating. Bearish candles here present. One bullish candle that sticks out is this one. And this is the fourth day. So it looks like a bounce, but a turnaround as well. And from that point of view, it looks a bit more bearish. Breaking through this triangle. This trend line is important, could be important. Overall, still very choppy though, but let me see what kind of breakout would justify maybe 4-hour world. I think it has to have a good 4-hour close to have any meaning at all. 4-hour close below this fractal, which is doing 4-hour close near the low, and that could be maybe a small pullback on this one. I think we'll get a small pullback considering the choppiness. Small pullback to 50 fib, stop loss above. Could be a good breakout candle here with a target. I would say, let's see, what could be a good target? Probably minus 61.8, 132, 130, 180. So if it hooks back to the 50 fib, it's 132.48 is the entry, about 48 pips to the minus 61.8, and about 70 pips, I guess, down to the minus 100, minus 1,000 target. Versus a risk of 30 if the stop loss is placed above this candle. But the candle, once again, I want a good close here near the low. At least this, preferably more, not less than this. Let's see, the high to low ratio here is currently it's at this moment it's 28, let's see, 28, 40, 43 pips only 43 pips, really? Huh, okay. Anyhow, 43 pips, bit small, but the low at the moment versus the close, no, yeah, the close versus the low, 13 divided by 43. Let me calculate that. Ah, I think it's about 30% anyhow. Yes. So not more than that. Let's see. Mother candle to the left, make price bounce up. This daily candle, yeah, it might, but it's yeah, it's a pin bar. It's true, but the pin bar is not fresh. It's like a few days ago. It's not something that happened yesterday, so I think its effect is dwindling, especially if you see bearish candles after that, and we had pretty strong bearish candles before that. So I think that now that we've had this break, we could see more, even if it only re-challenges, for instance, these bottoms, which could happen, right? And still bounces from there. I think there could be we could squeeze out a small short if this breakout candle is good, and I would need to see price retrace a bit at least. Sorry, I hit the wrong button here. Retrace a bit so that there's sufficient space down to these potential support levels. I think it's a tight one indeed. Could squeeze maybe some pips out of that small little zone to the downside before either hitting this candle high, this bottom, or the trend line. It depends how this candle closes too, and it is a tight zone. That's true. But good observation. Let's see. Pound yen Well, talked about the fact that if it makes one more high, there should be divergence and there should be some good downside. So it made a higher high now, did get the push up, and is it now good for indeed downside? Probably not. Not looking at the daily candles, I would say well, it is a bearish candle, totally inside candle though, but bullish on the monthly, weekly bullish, daily bullish. Let's see how this hour candle closes. If this one doesn't break this top, it could be a hook back for more downside. But obviously, a lot of things on these charts on the pound yen are bullish. There's perhaps a slight rising wedge at resistance, but there are a lot of bullish candles, so it's something to be cautious of. So let's wait for the hour end of this hour. All right. So those were some of these pairs. Oh, euro pound we can take a look at. We were looking at it yesterday too. Continuation of the downside. Yesterday price was about here, and then you're seeing the follow through lower down the Swissy. I hardly look at. Not a big fan, but did is trying to push up. Very choppy though. All right. Well, those were kind of the majors. We could take a look at some other things, maybe like how are the indices doing, maybe some commodities, maybe some exotics. Let me know if you have a particular exotic in mind. We could take a look at that. Let me get rid of this template, put on this one. Very bullish month on the DAX, as you can see, getting a double bottom and a rebound up higher. And still continuing to the upside. Probably a bit of a weakness here now. Kind of a chart pattern. Or consolidation, perhaps. Let's see what could be interesting. Strong bullish candle. So that's going to be, if that retraces, obviously going to be strong bounce potential there. But also to the upside, we got potential resistance up in here as well. Probably good to see price back down or up at either one of these two. A break of this channel, I think, could see support kick in for more upside. We got strong oscillator reading. So I wouldn't trade it to the downside, but I think if it, like the Kiwi, if it makes a retracement, we could see maybe a turn back up. All right, oil still around 45, gold. Let me renew the template here. Got a lot of monthly bottoms here. So it's going to be a bit of a interesting clash. You got strong bearish candles, but a pretty big bottom as well, and a very strong rising momentum. It's going to be interesting. Not, I don't see anything interesting that I would like to trade personally, but could be an interesting clash. Silver could be a bit better. Seems to have a bit more space to fall down to perhaps some support in here. Or if it does maybe move up, there could be a small head and shoulders here around this level. So those seem to be the interesting spots, I would say. Let me take a look at the S&P. All right, what's going on here? We had, of course, a big. Sorry about that. Let me reboot it. Big upside, I wanted to say. Let's take a look at that in just a second. Hi, Beverly. Good to see you. Beverly's been very busy. Did you manage to do some trading, or was it uh, maybe too busy last few weeks? How come you're busy? Or I mean, what happened that you were not able to make it? Tell us more about that. Let's see, if you want, of course. Let's see, S&P 500 here. That's it. Here, big candle upside, and yeah, very big rebound. We're now heading into 5 candles. Hmm. Well, I didn't expect such a big upside, but it did happen. And this downside reversal is really taking time. This candle closed about halfway, then we had a small bearish candle inside, and then this big bullish candle. Personally, I don't see any trades here. I don't trade it myself, but I don't see any trades either. Maybe weakness. I don't know if it hits these resistance levels. Maybe with that 1 hour divergence, some rising wedge potential. I don't know. Let's take a look. Maybe some divergence, but I don't know. It's not that I'm jumping. I probably would just sit on the sidelines, to be honest. Okay, got it. Got it, Beverly. Yeah, those things happen indeed. I can imagine. Especially if you have something big going on. It time flies by, doesn't it? It's terrible. I hope that the deal went okay and your friend is doing well as well. And thanks for sharing with us. I think that okay, cool. I think that at this moment, I'm not sure when you joined us, but so far we've looked at the majors, and I think what I recall is that let's go through it actually. The euro was a good short that I was looking at and traded yesterday. Now it's continuing. Pound USD and now close to the bottom, so I wouldn't be looking for much on the euro to trade it now, just holding on to it. Pound looking for the balance maybe at this resistance or the support level, back down or back up. Dollar yen, it's at resistance, but not really maybe that interesting to trade. I would like to see AUD USD at make a retracement for upside. Kiwi, I would like to have a bullish candle for upside. It's turning into a bearish one, but it hasn't closed yet. A dollar CAD, I would like to see a retracement for downside from here, stop loss above here. No, it was a bit higher, sorry. It was actually here. Let's see. Pound yen. Yeah, pound yen. Maybe if this hour doesn't close above or break this high, yeah, it could be maybe worth it. It's certainly reversal, but that's something to keep an eye on. Let's see, euro yen. If this candle closes near the low, pound odd. Let's see, next hour, or if it or breaks above this fractal, which is doing right now, and not the euro odd. So some ideas floating around. Let's see. The pound odd and the pound yen are opposite of each other, in fact. Let me put on the moving averages on this chart. Oof. Yeah. Sorry about that. That doesn't look that great when you put on the moving averages. Suddenly looks all totally different. Back to the tunnel on a 4-hour chart. But a lot of resistance here, so I'm not sure about the setup to the upside if I put on the moving averages. Maybe better to filter this one out. There are quite a lot of ideas that I have floating around, so I could be maybe a bit more skeptical towards this pound dot and wait for a bit more confirmation. Let's see, Beverly's in a short on the euro pound. Nice. Great, moving down nicely. And missed the entry on the EU, didn't end up in that trade. Would be doing well. Yeah, indeed, that was a nice one. It's one of those trades actually that almost seemed too nice to a certain degree because nice for triangle, nice move back, retracement. Sometimes they're set up so nice. Some of them are not always, but some are set up nice. You almost think that it's a trap, but no. Continue nicely to the downside. And still pushing. That's good. So yeah, pound odd maybe not. Pound itself is quite choppy. Well, the Kiwi would be able to make a recovery because the Kiwi had a lot of weakness yesterday. Not so sure at this moment. Let's see. 4-hour candle needs to close. Put on the new templates here. Let me take a look at this heat map again. Let's see. New Zealand. Let's take a look at the odd New Zealand as well. And you can see that that was a big, on the heat map, that was a big mover. Here, plus 1.8%, and a lot of volatility. So we can take a look at the odd New Zealand. Euro New Zealand and pound New Zealand also were big movers, but I don't know, not Euro New Zealand was not that great. You can take a look again. You can see that Euro New Zealand is in a downtrend, in fact. So New Zealand weakness is, let's see, bringing it up a bit. But all in all, pretty strong downtrend. So we're not really that excited about trading it to the upside. Let's see, if we expect Kiwi to reverse back up, that means that Euro New Zealand could move back down. That would be interesting. No, wait, New Zealand weakness. No, New Zealand strength. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. New Zealand strength, if price does make a bounce here, New Zealand strength would bring Euro New Zealand down. But at the moment, there's a bearish momentum. So the New Zealand is weakening, and that's not interesting because that would bring Euro New Zealand up, and we're facing resistance. Pound New Zealand, making a bit of a recovery. Broke above these weekly highs, 3 of them, and daily top, double top, breaking above it with a good candle close, in fact. So from that point of view, looks more like a breakout to the upside. I would not be looking for shorts in the pound New Zealand, that's for sure. Might be worth looking for longs, and not right now, but let's see. No, I would still probably just wait on the sideline. But if it does move back, for instance, to a support trend line like this, or these tops like that, let's see. Maybe even just a simple pullback to this bottom right in here could already be enough. Let's see, Euro pound targets 70.40. Let me take a look at the fibs. Yeah, minus 61.8 target right there. Let's see. Looks good. Just double checking. The only thing I'm thinking about is whether it can get indeed there. I'm not sure where your stop loss is. That's always a bit of a, where's your stop loss? There's always that relationship that's important. There is a bit of falling wedge going on here. There's divergence between these bottoms. Each time these bottoms break, price doesn't really go that far. Could be different now. Maybe we could get acceleration through this falling wedge, falling wedge. Let me put on the moving averages. And where's your entry? Let's see, 72. Okay, 71.21. So 71.21 is about 80, it's about 1 to 1 indeed. Okay. We'll take a look at the targets when using these Fibonacci sequence levels. There we go. We're breaking below the third level, which is good. Means we could be finally in an impulsive territory. That's a bit of a pleasant news. I was a bit worried about the falling wedge and the bottom breaks that didn't really go anywhere. And that could be just because we're in the third zone and now we're breaking below it. So we could maybe see that acceleration. So I like that. So I think I like the target. Yeah. I was doubting because of it was a bit choppy break and continuation so far. Maybe, yeah, let's see. I personally probably wouldn't even mind to put it, if I were you, I might even move it to break even. If your entry is 71.21, you can move it to break even and you're above these two 1 hour fractals. With a candle break below the third level now of this Fibonacci sequence level, I think we should see the acceleration. And I'm not sure if I would want to stay in it if it should continue now. If it hooks back, maybe the third level or this band should be resistance. And yeah, I think, of course, you never know. I mean, you can get tagged out. There's always things that cannot make it unlucky, and still see the continuation. But I think two fractals on hourly chart is pretty decent. Uh, in between current price and your stop, your potential trail stop, I would go for it. Nice, no risk, and you have your target open. Okay, cool. Beverly also likes that idea. So yeah, it's no guarantee, obviously, but I think it makes sense to me. Cool. Alrighty. All right, Caitlin also took that short, took 30 pips. Great, nice trading, Caitlin. You got some good pips there yesterday. 40 on the euro, and now 30 on the euro pound, and I think you had even one more, right? Dollar CAD 50. Good day indeed. Awesome. 3 trades, 120 pips. Perfect. And Caitlin was concerned about last month's low. Let's see, missed that. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's very true. And we broke below it, but I can see why you're concerned about that. Makes a lot of sense. And could be another supportive argument that we could see maybe some downside. Now we've broken that low. We're below the third level. I think we could see that impulse. We should expect that impulse when looking at this fib tool. That's its purpose. That's why I have it, to see where we can expect that impulse. Should be now. So let's see. Yes, exactly, Beverly. Indeed, absolutely. Yeah, we can't predict the future. It's all about making best decisions at now. It's easy, of course, to look back and well, we have to look back and learn, but we have to also judge our decisions with the information we had then. Definitely. All right, New Zealand. Let's take a look at that. It was a big mover yesterday. Haven't looked at that pair yet, so let's see what it will tell us. Let me, as promised, take off everything. All right, monthly chart. Looks like a strong rebound up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles now breaking this bottom. And that could certainly be weakness of this downtrend and we might see a bigger correction to the upside on this out New Zealand. Perhaps would be nice to see price at the 78.6 fib. That deep it didn't get. Now, if it closes like this on the weekly, it would be engulfing, almost engulfing twins. In any case, it would be a bullish price action. Daily chart, really a big up day indeed. Ooh, pretty nice break of this trend line. So that channel is history and is out of the way. It's broken. Really a massive momentum. So let me, catch this or grab this Fibonacci sequence tool again. Let's put it from the bottom. Ah, it's very annoying. I don't know why my script is bothering me so much lately. I don't know. I have to. I'm not a technical guy, so I I always kind of postpone these things that I need to check about why the script is not working. But I don't know how to check why it's not working. But anyhow, let's see. In the meantime, webinar tonight, by the way, Nana's going to take a look at channel bounces trading system, CBT. And tomorrow we're going to take a look at reversals. Next week, trend reversals. And next week we got the same lineup schedule. Oh no, well actually not me. I'm taking 1 week off with webinars, but Nana's going to continue. And then the week after, we'll be back as always. Okay? And with the full schedule. All right. Let's see. We're looking at the odd New Zealand. Hopefully the script will now be working. This is okay. Let's skip that then. I guess it's occurring more and more and quicker and quicker. Anyhow, we're almost near the top of the hour. We'll take a look at the pound yen, see how that hourly closed, and take a look at the last charts, make a last roundup. But first, I still want to look at the odd New Zealand. I'll just make a manual count, otherwise, let's see, 330 pips. All right, so 55, 89, 144, 233. It's above 4. It's going up to 5. 377 is level 5, which means 108.84. 108.84 is the main target. Okay, that target is still open, but we're close to it. So I would and very close to it. So it doesn't make sense to go there long. In fact, if anything, maybe a decent pullback could still merit it along to that level. But otherwise, at this moment, way too close. Thank you, Beverly. Let's see, and went long. Caitlin went long at dollar CAD. Got a 1 hour candle, and we have a break of this fractal. What I maybe don't like about it is the potential for a bear flag, but probably not. Looks good, I think. One thing I'm not maybe too fond of is indeed this downtrend that we have here. So I probably would stick to price getting higher rather than going long here. But it could certainly be, there are reasons to consider the fact that this is a support level still. It could be a bouncing spot. So I fully understand that. That makes sense, but it's not for me this trade. and that can happen. Your dollar is still moving down. All right, top of the hour has been reached. Pound USD is still traveling sideways, looking for move up or down to support a resistance. Let's see, AUD USD, maybe we'll make the retracement. Would like to see it back to the 50 fib, for instance, or the 61.8 fib. Kiwi, let's see if we get that bullish candle. Dollar CAD, let's see if we get the bounce indeed at resistance. If it does go up there, then that would be bringing Caitlin's trade pretty much close to his target at least. Let's see if Euro Pound can continue. Euro Yen is not at the moment showing a good close, but the candle has not closed as yet. Pound Yen did not break this top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candle. But the yen is a bit notorious for the fact that it's not as precise as the other pairs. And considering the bullish price action and even the hourly chart, I don't think it's wise to do anything at this moment. But could keep an eye on it. Maybe one more break at the top could get that divergence. I think we're definitely in a pretty big resistance zone, but let me see what the targets are. But hunting for reversals always requires a lot of patience. You see the 61.8 target is just a bit higher. Maybe it needs to hit 187.40. So I'll still wait. All right. Yes, we have news events tomorrow. The pound, any pound trade, be careful of tomorrow. Today is still okay, but tomorrow, big news event. Friday NFP, today ADP on the dollar. Especially Friday's NFP is going to be very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Could be a good, solid measuring point for the Fed. So far, we've seen NFPs on the disappointing side the last few months. So the question is, will that trend continue? If it doesn't look, that's yet another moment that it doesn't look good, I would say, for a rate hike in December. Alrighty, so that wraps it up. I hope that the euro dollar continues for myself. I hope it continues the euro pound for Beverly, and I hope dollar CAD and Caitlin's strategy setup, TMS strategy, will work out nicely. Otherwise, there are some setups that I'll keep an eye on. Or some of these pairs are pretty choppy that we looked at, but I think there could be something interesting developing today that is worth keeping an eye on. Like the pound yen, the let's see, pound dollar, the AUD USD, the Kiwi, the dollar CAD, and well, I even had pound odd on the list, but want to wait for a break of the tunnel here. At least it looks a bit choppy like this. Just scrolling some other pairs quickly. See if there's anything interesting, perhaps. Not really. It was a quick scan, but nothing significant. Yeah, so that wraps it up. I hope to see you tonight with Nenet's webinar or tomorrow with the trend reversals. We'll take a look at how to tackle that and how to approach that with caution. And we'll see Friday what's going on, and we can talk about long-term trading 2 weeks from now, because that's when I will have again the strategy and the live trading lab. That's Tuesday and Wednesday, not next week though, but 2 weeks from now. That's the 17th and 18th of November. All right. And I'll be back with the weekly recap on the 16th. And you can see that all of that schedule right here. Just go to education and webinars. All right. Wish you all good trading, and thanks for joining. See y'all soon. Cheers. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Caitlin. Cheers, everyone.